that DJ, and this was February 2011. Where I got sometimes the memory's a little off. And I believe he just told me, keep training. I was still working DWF at the time. Trained at the CCW school occasionally. He's like, you're aboard, but we're gonna wait to debut you at right place, right time, and when the time's ready, we're gonna tell you.
All right. So February to early June, you finish up the feud with Ron Starr, the feud that's been going on for a while. We talked briefly about Fans Bring the Weapons. Anything else you want to say about that match?
Just a lot of fun, and like always good working with Ron.
You debuted for ICW in Queens, New York.
Yes. At
this time, tell us about that.
That was another Lauderdale, connection. Just early on, him taking me places, outside of my comfort zone and places that I worked before. He's like, hey, I'm refereeing at Jack Sabbath's and ICW at the Elks Lodge, right next to the original Elks Lodge that ECW ran in. So that was pretty cool. So it was first time wrestling in New York on the infamous Queens Boulevard, next to the original Elks Lodge. And I was in one of Jack Sabbath's famous suicidal six-way matches.
There you go.
And I remember getting the DVD later because I wanted to see how it came out. And I was when the nameplate showed up for my name, it didn't say Bulldozer Matt Tremont. My name for ICW was Mike Dreamer. So I don't know how they got that, but I was Tommy Dreamer's illegitimate son for one night. I guess,
Mike Dreamer.
Yes.
And you never asked, you never found out why?
I didn't care. I worked the show. The only person I remember that was in that six-way was, who's, done good for himself in the business that I remember, John Silver was in the six-way.
Johnny Silver, okay.
But that, a lot of fun. That was the first time I think I met Joey Janela and a lot of the guys that I see almost, every weekend now. So that was a good, fun trip and a very fun match.
ACPW. What's your thoughts of that? You worked there?
I think it was the one and only time I worked ACPW. Pelly Premu, former Ring of Honor top prospect and trained under Brian Danielson and Punk and all them guys. He was, I guess, booking ACPW at the time. He met us at DWF and saw me and Cross had some potential, so we got booked on the show. Cross wrestled in the singles, and I wrestled Trevor Justice on the show, and it was in Oaks, PA, a part of it was an MMA and wrestling convention, and the highlight of that show, I wrestled Trevor Justice. Not too bad of a match. Pelly gave the best, still to this day, one of the best locker room speeches I've ever heard. He fucking pumped us up like this show tonight was WrestleMania. And I worked Trevor Justice that night, and the highlight of that night was Dan the Beast Severn was there, and he sat at his table with the UFC Super Fight title and the NWA title.
He has like 6 belts that he brings out.
And he watched my whole match and said I did very good. So
did he?
Just a couple years in, and having a former Super Fight champion tell me I did okay, that was pretty cool. So good first experience and only experience with ACPW.